Iron Man issue number 18. This is the penultimate issue before the final part of the Korvac saga that Cantwell has been building since the start of this book. Ambitious to do a 19-issue arc. Like, that is insane. I don't think I would have the stones to even try to do that. It's intense. But in the previous issue, we did see that Tony was full of power and maniacalness. If you guys haven't been caught up, the Iron God happened. He decided he's going to give everybody in Manhattan his own intellect. That backfires because the world's no longer a dystopian or a utopian. It's just this mess, and he kills his friends by accident. And then this book is just the ramifications of Patsy trying to get Tony to snap back into the reality of what he saw. So they go into the mindscape, and then it becomes this just like if every other, pretty much every 6 issues of this book has been analyzing Tony Stark's character from the beginning of his existence to the last. So there is a narrative flow to this in a sense, but it's more just like picking apart what Tony Stark is, and that's kind of the stuff I want to touch on. There is kind of just like the artwork showing us every aspect of Tony's life, where he starts off, how he builds himself, how he gets to where he is, each part of his career, and it looks really cool, and I do like it. Again, this is not Cafu doing the artwork this time. I believe it's Lan Medina doing this, and it looks really nice. But we go inside Tony's mind, and they start off just by showing the comparisons between him and Patsy, how they are two people who are kind of like propped up by the world to be this one thing, like an overbearing parent trying to tell them this vision of the future. It was his father for Tony, for Patsy was her mother, thus comparing them to like the scarecrows being propped up to ward off the certain lifestyle they're supposed to have. And then it does something very interesting that I never really considered when it came to the Tony Stark character. I do like it, though. Tony compares himself to Jekyll and Hyde, which is essentially, the story of just like the perfect man and the deprived shadow. And basically, Tony thought he was perfect. He liked this idea where he was smart and beautiful and perfect. He did all this right stuff, but he hated himself because of it. He didn't like his attributes or what he became, and thus he created this persona, which was the Hyde persona, where he could lash out and do all these things to become the person he thinks is the perfect guy. Now, what this really shows is, like, you could interpret it as 2 different ways. Either the Tony Stark persona is the Jekyll, or the Tony Stark persona is the Hyde. And that is a really cool thing to look at. And when he's Iron Man, he's either the perfect creature or the dominant creature that's destroying the world. And given from what we've seen in the past 17 issues, it could be the latter of the two, because Tony Stark is Iron Man, but the Iron God is mostly Tony. So whichever one you want to interpret as Jekyll or Hyde, that could be up to you to figure out what that is. And I do really like that stuff. Essentially, it's just, again, showing Tony hates himself. That no matter what he does, no matter who he becomes or how he behaves, he hates the idea of himself until he puts on that suit. And he continues to do bad things, but he can also at least try to get better because of it, even if it breaks him at some points. And it does. And we see the scenes where Steve is dead, he's on the morphine, and he's on the drinking, and he's just a broken person, but becoming the God could make him better. He also kind of talks about this idea that it's just something he's had his entire life, and that is every time he makes friends and they get too close and everything works out, he turns them into the enemy just to reassure his own ideas, because nobody can be wrong in the eyes of Tony Stark. Only he is right. And that's a really fun idea. And again, it's a beautiful deconstruction. I know I've said it before, but I got to reiterate it here. This is the type of Tony Stark story that in 20 years, even 15 to 10 years, we're going to look back on and be like, nobody has really hit the ground quite like this. It is so easily just beautiful Tony Stark. It is just broken and decrepit and just breaking in and defining the character and just giving us like that just idea of him in such a beautiful and unique way. It's one of the best deconstructions of Tony ever. And it just ends and he's just like, okay, I get it. I've been running in the same place for so long. I'm on the same track. I can't get anywhere. I can't do anything. I'm stuck in a rut and it never gets anywhere. So Patsy's like, so let go of it. Get rid of the power. Just forget about it all. Fix yourself in the way that's mental and not physical. You're stuck. Get out of the stuck. So Tony uses the power to bring back his friends. He absolves the world of the power cosmic, clearly sends it away. Everyone comes back to life. He apologizes. And then they just leave, because what else do you do? And then Patsy just leaves him. And he starts walking down the street. And a beautiful ending to this book, which I really do enjoy how this goes. where Tony's just walking down, I guess, a path somewhere. Some guy shows up, and he just pulls out a knife on him, and Tony's like, I didn't even try to fix the problem. I didn't even try to help the guy or anything. I just extended my hand, and I just handed him my wallet, and then as soon as he left, that's when I went into morphine withdrawal, and I collapse onto the ground, and then I just start to break, and I can't fix it. I'm just stuck there with nothing to do. And then from the sky, you see Korvac emerges, and he's like, ha, you idiot, I'm going to show you the painful world, your universal harmony, all that stuff you did. It was bad. Why don't you come see this thing I created, you terrible little piece of shit. And then he sees Tony is potentially dying on the ground right in front of him. And that's where the book ends. It's simple. It's easy. It's just a deconstruction of everything Tony Stark is, you know? It gives you the option. Which part of him's the Jekyll? Which part of him's the Hyde? Is Iron Man the hero? Is Iron Man the villain? Which one's the monster? Which one's the perfection? If there ever is the idea of perfection, how do you escape the rut that you are stuck in when you are just perpetually trying to make the world and yourself better? What a beautiful and intense narrative to spin for Tony Stark. It's better than anything the character's ever had. And like I'll be the first to admit I don't read a lot of Iron Man regularly, but this is just it. This is how you tell this story. You let Tony be broken, you let him be the villain, because Tony is the villain. He's probably the biggest villain the Marvel Universe has, because he just cannot accept defeat. He cannot accept letting things go. He is always going to try for more and strive for more, and that's going to be his greatest downfall no matter what he does, is his need to be perfect. Can he be perfect? Which part of him is perfect? Is it the ugly and selfish parts that make him who he is, or is he capable of change? And when you see he's actually trying to get out of that rut, he says, well, it's not working. So he brings his friends back to life, realizes he ruined everything, goes on his way, and just literally lets himself potentially die on the street, because what else can he do? What else is Tony Stark to do except accept the world that he is a part of and just let it happen? It's amazing. It's kind of cool. It's just beautifully written, a really cool piece of fiction that just chronicles the entire narrative of the Iron Man character in a beautiful piece that I think works really well and tells something very impressive and cool. And if this book hasn't sold you yet, this is going to be the issue that does it, because it's so strong and so fun. I recommend checking it out. It's such a good read. So, Iron Man issue number 18. Nope. Is it 18? Yes, it is 18. I used a Department of Truth. That was 17. That tripped me up for a second. Iron Man issue 18. I'm going to give an 8 out of 10. So thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.